what a film. This is just it's such a great one to watch, and you not only learn so much, but just get such a great different viewpoint. You got to be so excited for the rest of the world now to finally get to see this, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
we're over the moon. We've been on a 30, we've been to about 30 festivals around the country. We've played theatrically, and people have been asking when, where, what, and we're just really excited to share Julie's story, to share, a woman who started her career in the 1960s in a very sexist atmosphere, who was criticized, who was, told she objectified women, and who then went on to create the most profitable magazine issue in publishing history, and discovered majorly iconic women, or helped launch the careers of Roshumba Williams, Tyra Banks, Christy Brinkley, Cheryl Tiegs, Elle Macpherson, Kathy Ireland, Paulina Periscope, McPherson. Who else did I leave out? Stacey Williams. I mean, they're all in our film too. So.
Yeah. All the greats. And it's so cool too, especially to be able to see that she came out of it with such a great attitude. It seems she had the whole way through. And you probably saw, both of you probably saw that the whole time is just part of it is the attitude getting through all this, right?
Definitely. Yeah. And not
Yeah.
only the work part of it, but the fact that she was a wife and a mother. And she was actually away from her family most of the time, taking care of us and
Mhm.
creating this iconic magazine. So I love the fact that Jill incorporated in the film the struggle between, women having to choose between their careers and motherhood and family life, and how do you juggle it all? Because, most of the women in this magazine are mothers, uh, back in that day and also today. And it just is, it's a beautiful commentary of the fact that it's not easy, but if you do it with grace, you do it with class, you do it with integrity, you do it with art, you do it in an artistic way, and you focus on loving and uplifting people, it can be done.
Mhm.
So I
Yeah.
love that.
Absolutely. And Jill, you saw this the whole time, but you know that just about how the attitude takes precedent over everything, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think that, what was amazing about Julie is she was a woman with no self-esteem issues, and she had this really strong artistic sensibility and core, and she was an artist. And to her, she was creating works of art, and it was similar to creating a film. Like, she would hire the right photographer, the right model, get the right location, get the right bathing suit designer, and she worked only in film. And those pictures are not only iconic, they're beautiful. And to go back and look at them now, these photos from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s that she took, where back in the day they were so controversial. And every
Hmm.
time the issue came out, there would be women protesting on the streets in front of the issue, and Julie would get bashed. And it was really hard on her because she was just trying to do her job. She was a woman. She wasn't trying to objectify women. She was a fashion editor, and there were women in bathing suits in every other magazine, but for some reason women in a sports magazine, other women felt it was exploitative. So it's really great to explore that in this film too, to unpack it, to look at all sides of that, and make sure that we weren't just making a vanity piece on Julie, but we really dug into what that controversy was. And and in today's lens, we've come a long way. We have a lot longer to go,
Hmm.
but I do think that I respect the body positivity of the younger generation, and how women are embracing,
Yes.
right? Embracing their bodies and feeling okay to say, like, if I want to go on Instagram and post this is, I'm doing this for me. If
Right.
you as a man want to change it into something sexual, that's on you.
Right.
That's not why I'm doing it. Or maybe they are doing it for that, whatever it is, but it's their choice. And it's like it's a very complicated issue that people could talk about forever, but we really try to explore that as well.
Yeah.
Now, yeah,
Go ahead.
I was going to say, adding to what Jill was saying, even today, the foundation that Julie laid for inclusivity and diversity in the issue, with, wanting to have women of color, uh, women of different nationalities, different, body shapes and types. And, she fought for that because it wasn't necessarily accepted. Like the standard of beauty, the girl next door back then was sort of like a specific cookie cutter image, but she always pushed up against that and brought in people like me, dark skin, short natural hair, someone like Tyra who's a little bit more exotic looking, and just like different types of women, different types of beauty. And fast forward to today, what MJ Day has done, who's one of her proteges, like the top editor, she took it even further, like different body types, women missing limbs, like Ali Truitt, the Olympics swimmer, as well as people, more plus size women, putting McGrady on the cover, and just like really exploring, women of maybe same sex orientation, and giving them the platform to speak about like what their belief system is all about. So for me, overall, the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue, from Julie's point of view, was not about objectifying women, but it was about lifting them up and giving them a platform to be celebrated and tell their story.
Yeah, I love that, because I have a couple friends that have modeling agencies, and I know that them and their models are excited to see this. And there's a whole lot of it. It has to do with the confidence, and it is tough. So being through what you've both been through and what you've seen and what they're going to learn here, what advice would you give to those models that are coming up now that want to do what you've done so well and what you've captured so well?
That's a
Um,
Roshumba question.
okay, I'll go ahead. So for me, the one thing that I've learned along the way is it's like you have to know where you come from in order to know where you're going. So if you want to have a really successful career, look at the history of the people that you maybe admire, you look up to, the magazines you want to be in, the movies you want to be in. Learn what the history of it is, because then you can, really understand it from a deeper and different perspective, so that when you walk in the door to, say, a Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue, or you walk into an ABC networks, or you want to do a film with Carol Alt, or you want to be on one of Tyra Banks's TV shows, do your homework and know who you're getting involved with, and then have a sense of self. Like, have a plan for yourself, love yourself, nurture yourself, uplift yourself. There's so many opportunities. Have a platform, believe in something, stand for something, and also be absolutely fabulous.
Ah, love it. So well said. Well, Jill, how about for the people that want to tell great stories like this? Because I mean, we need these.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, I will never get the opportunity because she was my mother-in-law. I mean, I've been making documentaries for 20 years, but I got access to all of her archives. We digitized over 10,000 photos and found like never before Super 8s and never before just all this amazing thing. So like one lesson I learned is like always push and make sure you get into the archives of people you're working with, because it made life so easy to get all these photos and to have that during the edit. And I think it's also just, make sure you have an interesting story and an interesting subject that people want to watch. Making a documentary takes 4 to 5 years, and you're on that journey with that subject for a long time. And it really is important to test it and see what the interest is. I'm a writer as well, so I worked really hard on the structure of this film, the beginning, middle, and end. And people think documentaries, you don't put classic structure in, but you still are telling a story, and people want a first act, second act, third act, beginning, middle, and end. It's a lot harder with a documentary because you're not writing it, you're following real life, but you still are able to structure it in a way that's interesting to an audience. And what is the story you're telling? And
Yeah.
Julie's story to me is just telling a story about a woman who opened doors, who walked the walk before any of us, who we should learn from, who struggled but also succeeded fabulously. And we should, you know, try to learn from all of those women that
Right.
walked before us.
Right.
And that was my goal in telling the story, and also just celebrating how fabulous the photos were, and the gorgeous work she did, and
They're
these amazing
amazing.
women, and women are beautiful in bathing suits. I'm sorry. And you know, that's what Julie was about. So
Yeah, absolutely. So you're like this. My co-host is Drew Pearson, one of our great Dallas Cowboys, who caught the Hail Mary and went in the Hall of Fame. And this is the 50th anniversary of the Hail Mary. And I know he wants me to ask both of you your Hail Mary moment, the moment in your life or career you just had to go for it and it worked out for you. I know you both have very interesting lives,
Wow.
so I'm sure there's a great one.
My Hail Mary, I've had many,
Yeah.
but the most recent Hail Mary moment was when I got the call from Sports Illustrated last year, the day, no, hours before I needed to get on a plane to go down and shoot the 60th anniversary cover. They called my manager in New York, and I live in LA. And I didn't get the message. I woke up at 5 a.m. and I saw this message. And she said, Sports Illustrated wants you to get on a plane and fly to Miami. I was like, oh, okay, because they want to shoot. I was like, oh my God, that's so awesome. I was like, all right, when? She's like, now. I'm like, what? And literally, I got, I just threw stuff in the bag, jumped in an Uber without a plane ticket.
Oh man. Wow.
I just was like, I will get there somehow, some way, because I was scheduled to shoot the next day at 8 a.m. in Miami. And this was like 5, 6, probably like 7 a.m. when I spoke to her. And then I was at the airport by 9 a.m. And so they called their uh, travel agent who was in Miami, and I was in the Uber. They were looking for flights. I remember I was like, if I get out at JetBlue, I know I can figure it out how to get through the airport somewhere. And the Uber dropped me off. I was like, okay, I called her. I was like, I'm at JetBlue. She's like, your flight's leaving on Delta. Get back in the Uber. I was like, he left. And then I'm running through LAX, and then I run over and I'm like, where's Delta? Where's Delta? They're like, it's, 3 terminals over, and I'm just going. And I was like, I'm going to get there no matter what. And then I got to Delta and I got on my flight and shot it. And then I ended up on the cover for 2024.
Yeah, I love that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
yeah, I think mine is, it's really hard to get your films funded,
Yeah.
especially indie filmmaker. And first, the Hail Mary was this story dropping in my lap, and feeling the need to tell it. This is the most personal story I've ever told. And then, one of my good friends, Sharon Shuttleworth, she's a producer, but she also worked in the modeling field, and was always, she worked for Ford Modeling back in the day, and was very interested in this film. But like, we kind of, it was during the pandemic, so we would touch base. I would tell her about it and then not tell her. And like, she has a production company, and she called me and she was like, oh, someone contacted me about helping fund their documentary. What do you think about this? And it's really hard for me to ask for money. That's been my hardest, it's been really hard as a filmmaker, but I just got it up and I said, well, why don't you invest in my film? And I totally forgot that she was an advocate from the beginning. And I love her and known her 30 years. And she's like, well, where's it at? And I told her, and I had a deck ready and I had a sizzle ready. So I was like ready to go. So that's a lesson, be prepared. She flew into New York. We talked for 3 hours. I thought she was going to give me a little bit of seed money. She, they financed the whole film.
Wow.
So, and we were off and running, and I was able to make, after doing this for 20 years and putting together money here and there, I was able to make the film that I wanted to make. I was able to pay people respectfully. I was able to set up interviews the way I wanted to set them up. We were able to pay for digitizing the footage. We were able to pay for going to the shoots. We were able to do everything the way one should do it when they make a film. And I'm hoping that, when you see the film, you see that artistry and that beauty. And, you know, it does take a village. We had a whole team of Sharon and Rob and Jonathan and Greg and Roshumba and our editors, and but everyone believed in the subject and believed in me. So what more of a Hail Mary is that for everyone to come and really believed in Julie? It wasn't me. It
Yes.
Yeah.
was like Julie was, our fairy godmother through
Hmm.
this. So,
Yep,
we had
definitely.
her as our, shining guiding light through this.
Hmm.
And I wear this ring because she gave this to me
Uh,
before she died, and I wear it. I have not taken it off during this whole process
Oh,
because I
mm,
really feel like she's here. And if I
yeah.
take it off, like I for some, I can't. I have a engagement ring I won't
Yeah.
put on. I'm like, but that's because she's here.
No, no, she's so proud of this movie, and I know people are gonna be so excited. Before we let you go, I think this is an important movie for men to see, for women to see, and also I think models to see, photographers, and just it's for so many people. But I think people might get something different out of it, depending on who they are, what they've been through, how they see things. So, what is it that both of you are hoping that people will think about or take away? Because there's so much going on here besides just what you see.
Yes, and I hope people get something different out of it, and it is for men as well. And I think what I said recently is, don't judge a magazine purely by its cover.
Mhm.
right.
Dig into the pages. There's lots of articles and research and opposing opinions and people and models and journalism, and there's a lot of things that go into creating this work of art, which I think it is. And we just might surprise you and you might just
Mhm.
change your mind about a
Yeah.
few things. So give us a chance.
I
And I
love
guess for me, I would probably say that for anyone who is interested and knows the Sports Illustrated brand, just know that it's a Sports Illustrated swimsuit brand. Just know that it's about more than a bikini. There's a whole story behind the scenes, and it all started with this beautiful, iconic lady, Julie Campbell.
Mhm. Wow, well said. Well, thank you both so much for being with us. Thank you for making this and being with us today with the great answers. And we're going to tell everybody check this out. Look forward to talking to both of you again soon.
All right. Thank
Much fun.
you.
Hey, thank you so much. We'll see you soon.
Okay. All
Okay,
right.
bye-bye.
Bye bye.